Well, hello everyone. I've had about 24 hours now, and the world has really, uh, quite frankly, as I'm recording this video, to digest the story that appeared in the Atlantic by Jeffrey Goldberg about what President Trump said about service members. Uh, that has been confirmed by multiple news organizations, including Fox News, um, that the president said this, and that they've heard the president say similar things. Subsequent reporting from the New York Times, the Washington Post, um, paints even, quite frankly, more horrifying statements and beliefs that the president has about our military. I think that this might be more damaging to Trump than Access Hollywood. Uh, we'll never know the full effects of Access Hollywood because of the Comey announcement. And I think most people can reasonably agree that the Comey announcement had a huge effect on the election and probably is what tipped the election to Trump. But had that not come, how big would Trump's defeat have been? Or would Trump have won? Would he still have won? And I think with the Access Hollywood video, there were some people, I think, who rationalized it this way. They knew Trump was a scumbag. They knew Trump was an adulteress and was not a great person, and really probably had numerous affairs than the ones we know about. But they rationalized it this way. That's what you get when you're supporting Trump. That's the rationalization that they arrived at. With this, it's so much more troubling. He's been commander-in-chief now for 3.5 years. This BS about him growing into the job is long past. He has sent men and women to die defending this country. He has sent men and women who have come back in coffins. And he can't go to a cemetery to honor men that died 100 years ago because his hair might get messed up. And quite frankly, this BS about all the Secret Service says that they couldn't drive through the narrow streets. Well, all the other world leaders drove to the cemetery. And I think that the Secret Service can handle some narrow streets. And despicable. And he still doesn't get it. He still doesn't get why people put on the uniform of the military. There's reports that he talks about belittling people that served in the military, talking about how much money they missed out on in the private sector. It's obscene. It really is. He views everything transactionally. And military voters see that. And he's going to find out on election day their anger at him. In 2016, the exit polls showed that Trump got 60% of the military vote. In 2018, Republicans received 58% of the military vote, and it was a horrible night for Republicans. What if Biden wins a majority of the military vote, or even a plurality? That's going to be huge. And it's coming when Democrats are going to win a majority of the military. The military is getting more diverse. Democrats are beginning to recruit candidates that have military and intelligence and national security backgrounds. And when they do, those candidates typically win and are typically top-notch candidates. So there's going to be a reckoning when Trump leaves the White House within the Republican Party. And one community that the Republicans are going to have to answer to is the military community. And it's going to be a heavy cleanup. I think it's going to be very interesting in the next few days to watch and see if any former military officials who have not yet publicly spoke about the election speak out, or ones who have may change their endorsement. Maybe there's someone that's a military official that's endorsed, a former military official that's endorsed, a retired military official that has endorsed Trump that switches to Biden. I totally think that this is one in the moment in the campaign. Take a snapshot of it. At the end of this race, we're going to look back and you're going to be able to point to several events. This is going to be one of them when the mood and the atmosphere of the campaign changed. And this is huge. The Trump administration's cleanup today shows that they know how damaging this is. And quite frankly, it shows that it's true. They only clean up when they know it's true. And they know how bad it is. The question is, do they eventually, when the evidence becomes so overwhelming, and I know this is so sickening to think of, but when does the pivot become, yeah, he said it, but here's why it's defensible. They're going to attack John McCain in the coming days. They're going to attack the fact that Cindy McCain has endorsed Joe Biden. They're going to attack the fact that McCain voted against ACA repeal. They're going to attack all of these things. Trump will make baseless, nutso conspiracy claims about John McCain. I hope that, I know the McCain family has suffered a lot from abuses from this reckless incompetent before, but the level, when they make the pivot, when the White House makes and the Trump team makes the pivot to defending Trump's statements, when the evidence becomes overwhelming that he did say it, the pivot, they're going to base a lot of it on McCain. So, like I said, I just, this is so damaging for them, and it's going to be interesting to watch.